Good evening. And we're doing something special on stream this week.
Something special.
This is a very special week for LEGO Star Wars, as the animated series LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy is getting its second part released on Friday. So we're going to celebrate the release this week by building all four of the LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy actual physical LEGO sets. LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy is a fun parody about some LEGO magics, and the Star Wars galaxy gets accidentally reconfigured. So everything's like a completely different version of what it was. And so you got things like Palpatine is the leader of the Jedi and crazy things like that in the series. And Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2, I've seen the trailer, and it looks like there's going to be even more craziness going on with Part 2. So that they released four Lego sets for Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. 3 for the original release of the first part last year, and then they released 1 set for this year. So I've decided to split the 4 sets into 3 streams. We're going to stream tonight the 2 smaller sets, Jedi Bob Starfighter and the Force Burner Snowspeeder. Then on Thursday, we're going to stream the second biggest set, and then which is the X-Wing TIE Fighter mashup. And then Friday's the actual release day for the show, but I'm tied up on Friday, so Saturday we're going to do a long stream, and we're going to build the really big set they did, the Dark Falcon, which could possibly be a marathon build, as it's got a really high piece count. And then Sunday, I'm going to watch the series for myself. I'm going to rewatch Part 1, and then go straight into Part 2, and I'm going to marathon the whole series on Sunday. And so that's my plans for Rebuild the Galaxy this week. Let's get the camera going. I'll show you the 2 sets. So tonight we'll be building the 2 smallest sets for the line. We're going to build Jedi Bob Starfighter, and then we're going to build the Force Burner Snowspeeder. Each of these comes with 3 figures. I'll talk a bit about the characters as we meet the characters as they get assembled throughout the instructions. So, we're going to build Jedi Bob Starfighter first, because that was from Rebuild the Galaxy Part 1. Then we're going to finish tonight with the Fire Speeder, which is the 1 set they released for Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2. So let's get started looking at Jedi Bob's Starfighter. So this looks like a souped up version of a Delta class Jedi Starfighter. This is not the same Jedi Starfighter that we saw with Ahsoka the other day. That's I think the Eta class Interceptor. I'll have to look it up. But that was the Interceptor Jedi Starfighter. This is just the Delta Jedi Starfighter. Kind of like the ship Obi-Wan was using in Attack of the Clones. But this looks like a modified, customized version for Jedi Bob with like big, giant engines and cannons attached. Jedi Bob's an interesting character. And man, of the characters we're going to see tonight, he's probably got the most to talk about. So when we get his figure out, we will talk about him, because Jedi Bob has a very interesting history in LEGO. So let's go ahead and get this open. Actually, I just realized I haven't shown you the back of the box. So here's the front of the box one more time. You can see it comes with Jedi Bob himself, an Ackbar Trooper, and Servo, who's a modified Gonk droid. And here's the back of the box. And so the back of the box shows there's a little storage compartment in the front of the fighter, and it's also highlighting the flick fire missile that's hidden under the wing. So there's the back of the box. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, and this set does not come with a separator, so I've got my spare brick separator ready to go here. So let's just see everything we've got here. We've got numbered bags that go up to 4. And we also have, that's weird, a big plate that's sitting outside a bag. Do I have a bag breech, or is it just sitting outside? I'm not sure, but I'm going to be careful with handling these bags. Bag 1 we'll leave out. We have a little sticker sheet. The sticker sheet has 7 stickers on it, all relatively small. So it's not going to be a big deal, although 4 of these, actually, most of these stickers look like they're color blocking. So I might have to wait till the pieces are on the ship before I apply them. We have our instruction book. You know what we do with this. Our instructions are now on screen and ready to go. And this plate was just sitting loose in the box. I have no idea why, because there was a matching mirrored plate inside one of the bags. So I'm assuming it was a packaging error, but at least we have the piece. So I'm just going to set it aside till we get to the bag with a matching piece. Or until the instructions call for it, whichever comes first. So now that we have the instructions up, let's go ahead and start building. And Rebuild the Galaxy Part 1 was released as part of the LEGO Star Wars 25th anniversary they did all throughout last year. So here's where it says to open bag 1. So let's get the bag open and get things ready to go. It's interesting that there's 4 numbered bags, because this set by piece count isn't all that much. I was anticipating 2, maybe 3 bags, but they have their logic, so we'll see how it plays out. There's always some kind of logic with how... Oh, it's got all these little cardboard packets. That usually means there's a fabric element. Okay, let's look at the instructions here. So it looks like the first figure we're getting tonight is the Ackbar Trooper. Basically, in Rebuild the Galaxy, Admiral Ackbar is the clone stock instead of Jango Fett, so all the troopers are Admiral Ackbar's. He's actually my second Mon Cal figure, because Lieutenant Beck was the pilot in the Resistance transport ship we did a few months ago from Galaxy's Edge. And he just gets a standard blaster. Here's the Ackbar Trooper. And rain just picked up outside, so I hope that doesn't affect our connection tonight. We'll sit him down to watch the build like we always do. And here we go. It looks like we're getting all 3 figures in the first box. This is a callback to old vintage Lego, where they gave you all the figures up front in the first page of the instructions, and then went into the builds. At some point in the last 15 years or so, they started spacing out the figures throughout the builds, so you didn't get them all at once. So we're now putting together the main character for the set. This is Jedi Bob. Jedi Bob is the guardian of the lost Jedi Temple with the magical brick of destiny with which the main character Sig accidentally reconfigured the whole galaxy. And Jedi Bob is the in the show was the guardian of that temple. So when Sig came along, obviously that meant Jedi Bob had failed in his mission because Sig was able to access the magical crystal. That said, Jedi Bob as a character has he has a legendary history within LEGO itself, even before the cartoon. In 2002, which was before LEGO switched over to flesh colors for licensed themes, they still use this. They still use the traditional yellow faces for non-licensed themes, but back in around 2004, 2005, they made the decision that licensed themes they were going to use flesh-colored minifigure parts. Let's see, a serious face or a smiley face. Let's give him a smiley face. This is a silly show. And in 2000, and pretty much every time they've included Jedi in one of the Clone Wars era prequel era sets, the Jedi have always been one of the named Jedi. But in 2002, they just did a generic unnamed Jedi with the yellow smiley face. That was classic to vintage LEGO at the time. And that would have been the end of that, except he showed up again in a 2000. He showed up a few years later in one of the editions of the LEGO Star Wars. It was the Visual Dictionary or the Character Encyclopedia. I'm not sure which book it was. It was between 2006 and 2010 when he appeared in the book identified as Jedi Bob. And he became a meme. And so when LEGO Rebuild the Galaxy comes along last year for the 25th anniversary, they took the joke and ran with it. And actually, his minifigure has some design quirks. Like, unlike all the other LEGO Star Wars characters in modern day sets, they give him the standard yellow face as a callback to pre flesh tone switch licensed LEGO. Only one other LEGO license existed at the time that had the yellow skin tones, which was Harry Potter. That started 2001, I think. And then they brought in the flesh tones for licensed theme minifigures in 2004, 2005, around there. But as a callback to the original Jedi Bob in the show, he, like Benny in the Lego movie, he's supposed to represent like an old minifigure lost to time. And actually, there's the camera's not going to pick it up, and it's subtle. But his printing, his outfit printing, actually has like wear marks and some scratch marks like you would see on old minifigures that have been sitting in the bottom of a toy box for 20 years. So they really capture the effect of him representing an ancient old minifigure. There's one more look at him before I scene him down, and then we will move on with the build. Today's stream is actually going to be fairly lightsaber heavy. All three of the characters in the next set use lightsabers. And then tomorrow's build, none of the characters, if I remember correctly, use lightsabers. Actually, maybe one. And then we go to the build on Saturday where most of the characters use lightsabers. So, yeah, there's heavy lightsaber use in the streams for Rebuild the Galaxy. Okay, so it looks like the first thing we're building out of bricks is the Gonk droid Servo. Servo in Rebuild the Galaxy is Jedi Bob's droid, and he's basically a talking Gonk droid. The joke there is that Gonks don't really talk in actual Star Wars. They communicate via a series of beeps. and machine tones, but Servo talks. Because everything's slightly different, or vastly different, in the Rebuild the Galaxy version of the of the Star Wars galaxy. This is not my first Gonk droid. There was a Gonk droid in the Resistance Transport. So let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing. That's why I stopped talking. Interesting. He's got the little calculator piece as part of his face plating here. That's a standard Lego printed piece. Gonk droids are pretty cool. They often include a Christmas variant in the Advent calendar each year. I don't do the Advent calendars, though. I'm thinking about going through and getting all the Advent calendar exclusive figures from over the years, because there's some nice Christmas sweater characters and Christmas droids, Christmas droid variants. So I think it might be cool to go back and get all the past Advent calendar exclusive characters. Okay, so here is Servo. He's our completed Gonk droid. Let's go ahead and set him down here. He should be able to stand on his own. And now we get to begin building the ship itself. Okay. I wasn't expecting a Technic assembly for such a small ship, but I guess we'll find out. Lego can be full of surprises sometimes. I do like uh, I do like surprises in the build techniques, things that aren't what you would expect to see in a given build. This may be attachments for where the engines go on later. I'm not sure. We are putting in a lot of these Technic bricks, though, so this ship is definitely based on the Jedi Delta class Starfighter, but it's its own thing. This is a heavily modified version. I do want to get the Obi-Wan Starfighter. And then I'll have both of the Kamino figures, but I'm not sure if I'll build that one on stream. It's a small set, and as far as Starfighter places, it's in my collection. It's a little bit redundant, but gotta love when they do exclusive figures, so I'm thinking about getting that one. So I'm guessing these are going to be attachment points for the engines later. I was originally planning to do the Dark Falcon for Life Day, um, but it made sense to do a 3-part stream special for the Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2 release week. So I have something else in mind for Life Day. So yeah, these are the engines. I did guess correctly that those yellow axles were for the engine connections. Jedi Bob does, in fact, have a full name in the show. It's Barbarian Afal. Afal, of course, being based on the slang term for adult fan of Lego. Rebuild the Galaxy has a whole bunch of references to the Lego fan community. For example, the main bad guy's flagship in the first part is called the Separator, which is based on the idea of a brick separator. There's no uh, there's no set of the Separator, unfortunately, but it's a cool ship. So yeah, all these Technic connectors in the base structure of the ship. This must be for all the souped up upgrades that Jedi Bob has put on his Starfighter. I really don't know what to expect with this set as we go on. We're going to do our first assembly here. A pink piece. You can see there's a pink piece inside. It's a tradition among the Lego Star Wars designers to hide a pink piece inside the set in a place where it's going to be buried and not seen in the final build. It started as a joke where some designer years ago said, "Hey, I bet we can put a pink piece in every Lego Star Wars set." And not every designer follows the tradition. I've seen a few sets lately that haven't had a pink piece hidden inside, but pink piece has already gone over. Gone over. So it's a tradition that's not as consistent as it once was, unfortunately. It's cool to see the pink piece when it happens, though. And now we're doing an assembly for the assembly. Okay. And we're gonna have our first sticker here. And this is going to be the number 7 sticker, which looks like it's just a simple surface detail. And it doesn't look like it has to line up with anything else. So this one I don't have to worry about perfection too much. It's probably not even going to show up, but there's the little sticker right there. Excuse me. So yeah, Lego has pretty much taken over my channel. But that's a good thing. And the Lego train is not slowing down. Lots of stream plans over the next few months. And plans for my Lego collection off stream as well. Okay. Okay, and how does this all attach? So this is supposed to line up with that. And so we've got this beginnings of the main body length of our craft here. It's interesting that they gave us all 3 figures in the first bag, because that's not really something they do anymore. Let's get bag 2 open. And bag 2 is going to start with an assembly. So I'll set the body aside. There are some bigger pieces going on in bag 2 here. Interesting. There are a couple of retired Lego ships on my stream plan. I'm probably going to do an Imperial special with like 3 different retired ships. Depending on the piece counts, that may have to be a marathon stream, or I may have to break it up. But there's 3 retired Imperial craft I want to get, for sure. Alright, I have a feeling we're basically doing a whole bunch of putting stuff on, so let's do it like this. So I guess we're doing a bunch of assemblies here to make up the shaping. There's a chance that we may be able to look at Disney Infinity on the channel. That's one of the old toy. That's Disney's entry in the old Toys to Life. Unfortunately, Lego's entry in Toys to Life is pretty much unplayable at this point. Lego Dimensions. But I read somewhere that Disney Infinity released a version where you don't need the figures, like they did a modernized re-release that you can play without the figures. If it's true, I'm almost certainly gonna try and do some Disney Infinity in the next couple months. Obviously, we started up doing a lot of pinball on the channel. Well, not a lot of yet, but we're getting ready to make a pinball big thing on the channel. So I do want to do more of those Suno programs, and I'm looking at the possibility of getting karaoke going on stream. Apparently, they're more lax than they used to be regarding karaoke. So I've seen a lot of other streamers do it, so I may be ready to take the plunge soon with that. I'm not a good singer, but the more I practice, the better I'll get, so. I used to do kazoo on the channel, but I lost my kazoo in the move, and my brother banned me from getting a new one, so. I'll probably get one anyway that I can use when he's not home, but the kazoo programs probably aren't coming back at this point. It's been a couple years already. And aside from that, we're going to keep doing more Lego. Lego's going to continue to be our... Well, we have some more hidden pink pieces we'll be putting in. Interesting. Of course, this set is based on a parody version of Star Wars, so it takes all the Star Wars traditions and turns them and exaggerates them and caricatures them. So having 3 hidden pink pieces, I'm cool with that. So this is actually, this block does contain the console. So let me see here. The console is a printed piece. It's one of the standard printed consoles. There it is. I'm hoping to be able to fix the other camera before we do the Falcon. I may not be able to fix it in time for the Starfighter mashup, but I hope to be able to fix it in time for the Falcon. If not, well, then we just won't be able to get too close up on the figures. Oh, that goes here. Right, I want to make sure I'm lining up all the pieces correctly. And now we'll do another assembly. So the immediate plans for the next couple months is obviously after I build the Galaxy, I do have one Lego history stream that's coming up. We're gonna have the minifigure gumball machine that I've been waiting forever for. Um, we're gonna in the next couple months we're gonna be doing an expansion to my collection of Jurassic. We'll be doing some more Animal Crossing. Of course, we're gonna finish catching up on the Mario. If there's Avatar 3 sets, obviously we'll be getting those as well. Okay, it looks like this piece doesn't really have to line up with anything. So I'll go ahead and put this on. It's fairly straight. It's not perfectly centered, but it looks like the gap is going to go into where the canopy hinges, so the gap isn't going to be that big a deal, I don't think. And by that I mean the sticker color block thing. This is that sticker we just put on. And this whole unit is going to attach in like that. Okay, so we got a little bit of a storage container compartment going on in the middle. And it's actually having us fill the storage compartment before we actually make the top of it. So he gets this tiny little blue milk carton. And a banana. Since when does the Star Wars Galaxy do bananas? This is probably not a banana, but what the equivalent fruit would be in the Star Wars Galaxy. Like, they have introduced some of the Star Wars fruits. Like, there's a couple different fruits that have been seen in the shows. But I don't think we've seen a banana one yet. But then again, this is a parody, so... Or I should say this ship is from a parody, so... Kind of makes sense that there would be bananas. Since bananas have become a meme in their own right. There's that sticker. Some more of the exterior detailing. And this just presses on over here. So he has a nice little blue milk drink and a banana snack if he needs some refreshment while he's out on a mission. Let's keep going. Okay, so now we're putting axle pins into these supports we've set up earlier. It'll be interesting to see how this all develops out. There's a surprising amount of Technic here for such a small ship, but he does have uniquely modified ship in Galaxy, so I guess it makes sense. The back of the box didn't show a lot of play features, so I'm guessing most of the Technic here is not for action, but for structure and shaping. Here's a one-page 2X. It looks like we have even more engines. This is definitely way more engines than a regular Delta class would have. Looking forward to 2026. We're going to start doing some custom builds in 2026, I think. There's some projects I've been wanting to do for a few years. And now I've seen many actual Lego sets and many actual Lego build techniques. I think it's finally time to start thinking about some of the creations I want to do. Okay, so it looks like these are big, oversized engines. Makes sense. This is a based on a parody show. Having these skate pieces inside the engines for engine greebling kind of reminds me of something that the ARC 170 did, which also used the skates inside the engines for greebling. Sorry about the canceled collaboration with Brett last night. I had a health emergency, but that's okay. We're gonna catch up with him next week once we're done with all this rebuild the galaxy stuff. Okay, so and here's the big or the little canopy piece. And now we're going to go into bag 3. It looks like bag 3 is going to be one wing, one side, and then bag 4 is going to be the other side. Much like how the Interceptor was the other night. Okay, so these Technic attachments here are probably going to be where the wing, where the side, where the sides of the ship attach to. I guess we could call it a wing. That's kind of what it is. So, it looks like each wing is going to get 2 sticker details. They do look like they represent some color blocking though, so I'm gonna wait to put the stickers on till I know what they're going next to, I think. So yeah, this stream is going to be relatively short compared with the other two. The Thursday stream is piece count of about 1,000, and then the Saturday stream is like, it's like a 1,600 something piece count. So Saturday's going to be a long stream for sure. It's about 700-ish pieces for these 2 sets tonight. So yes, even though the other 2 nights we're only doing one build each time, those are still a lot more substantial than both builds tonight put together in terms of piece count and time we'll be together. I'm glad I made the decision to not be so overwhelmed by LEGO Star Wars and actually start building my fleet, even if it has slowed down my acquisition of other themes a little bit. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing Animal Crossing throughout the fall. I probably won't be able to secure my sets for that until next month, though, honestly, because I want to secure the sets for my Jurassic expansion as well. My Jurassic expansion is either going to be a 2 or 3 part stream involving 5 different sets. We'll be adding several new dinosaur figures, as well as 1 brick-built dinosaur. Not a baby dinosaur. They actually did 1 brick-built mainline dinosaur now that we'll be doing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more dinosaurs into my LEGO collection. I may change the Earth Day tradition next year if I run out of dinosaur sets I want to do, but there's a lot of other dinosaur sets looking towards the past, so we might be able to do one of those for Earth Day next year to keep our Earth Day dinosaurs tradition going on the channel. Or we could come up with some other Earth theme. I know a set that's perfect for Earth Day, And of course, that's like, why am I even talking about that? That's 7 months away, but I know a set that would be perfect for that, except it's a set I'm going to want to do soon after it comes out that I'm really excited about, so I may not wait on that set. We'll figure all that out next spring. I should focus on the here and now for this channel. But I do have one stream coming up where we're looking at a historic LEGO theme. That's going to come up probably next week sometime. The piece count, the piece pile is going very quick. Bag 3 and bag 4 don't look like going to be as substantial as bags 1 and 2, which made sense, given that we have the main core of the ship together. And here is a flick fire brick. And actually, they look the same from both ends. So was I just loading the missile wrong last night? Or whichever night I did it? Oh well, we'll test the flick fire bricks before I permanently disarm them. It looks like this is going to be a representation of a big, giant laser cannon. And yeah, I was right. The stickers do need to line up, so. For me, stickers is by far the most annoying part of doing any LEGO set. Because you can make or break the look of the model with depending on how well you do the stickers. Alright, those are those two stickers. You can see that they're not lined up quite perfectly, but they're definitely good enough. It's not really going, the misalignment isn't really going to be noticeable to the average person. So now we're going to take the wing and we're going to attach it to the side of the starfighter like this. It's coming together nicely. Now we just need to create the... I'll show this from the camera-friendly side while we build the last wing. Okay, I don't know why it had this piece separate for bag 4 when it didn't have this piece separate for bag 3. I'm not sure. That's an interesting packaging decision. And totally one that makes no sense given that the same wedge was in bag 3 inside the bag, and here both in the instructions and in the bag it's a separate piece. My best guess is it was, let me see, what page of the instructions are we on? 77. Let me look at the printed instructions, because that might actually solve this mystery here. And yes, there are 2 missiles in the pile that I'm just going to set aside here. Let me look at the paper instructions real quick, because that'll tell me what happened here. Yeah, it is showing up as an extra piece even in the printed, or a side piece, not a bagged piece even in the printed instructions. So I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe there was a packaging error, and when they realized there was a packaging error, they reprinted the instruction books before sealing the boxes. That's my best guess. Feels weird though. It doesn't matter. As long as all the pieces of the set are included and we're able to complete the model, it really doesn't matter how that unusual situation occurred. I just care that I'm getting all the pieces I'm supposed to get. I don't care if they're in bags or separate. We're at the 1 hour mark of stream now, so yeah, the first ship went together a lot quicker than I was anticipating. Actually, maybe not quicker than I was anticipating, but yeah. But we still got a lot of stream left. We have another whole vehicle to build. And actually, technically, the other set is 3 vehicles. You'll see what I mean when we start to get into it. There seems to be a part missing from my parts pile. Usually that just means it's under something, as it was here. We're good to go. Okay. Oh, we got a third missile too. We got a nice big ammo stack. Okay. We're almost done here. We're already almost ready to do that wing assembly. That gun assembly, I mean. Let's see. Let me look at the picture real quick. Yeah. Sometimes I like to look at the box picture to make sure I'm doing things correctly. Obviously, you can't really do that at the core levels, but when you're doing surface details, it's a good strategy sometimes. Okay, the gun is together. The gun is on the wing. And now we just got to do the two stickers. Empty sticker sheet. We no longer need this. And now all we have to do is slide this wing onto the other side of the fighter like this. There's not really a good place to grip it to do this, but let's see. Yeah, I'll just put the gun back on. Yeah, the wing's on. Now we can fix the gun. And like that. So yeah, that's just showing how to do the missiles. The wings are fixed and don't move. It's not, these wings don't move. This is just a fixed craft. And this shows you the other two Rebuild the Galaxy sets from part 1. The X-Wing TIE Fighter mashup set we're going to be doing on Thursday. And then Saturday we're going to do the Dark Falcon, which I anticipate being an all-day build. Obviously this ad doesn't show the one from this year because it came later. So let me let me just test the missiles real quick. Okay, that one locked in. I just want to make sure. Yes, I'm not sure if the missile bricks are technically one way or not. I just know that here, at least, they're working. The Ackbar Trooper is a really interesting character. I will say that. Okay. Well, we got our first ship done. It sits balanced on the table. That's a good thing. Not a lot of play features. We saw the flick fire missiles, and you can put Jedi Bob inside. That's about it. Oh yeah, and of course the storage compartment with his little snacks in there, the banana and the blue milk. And he's got these big engines in the front here, these big turbo engines, and then the regular Delta engines in the back here. And he's got a cool red and white stripe pattern going on here. I like the design of this. I like the design of Jedi Bob Starfighter. Very swooshable too. You can hold it in one hand and fly it relatively smoothly. And underside's not too ugly. I mean, considering all the Technic that has to be down there to hold all his upgrades and stuff. But yeah, a pretty unique version of a Delta. I I like this one. I know I say that about all my Lego Star Wars ships. Alright, we're just over the 1 hour mark of stream. If you count my talking time at the beginning of stream, it took us exactly 1 hour to build this. So let's take a short bio break and then we'll be back with the Force Burner Snowspeeder, which is the only set from Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2. I'll be back in a few minutes. I recommend that while I take my quick break, you guys also take a quick break. Get up, stretch, get yourself a drink, get yourself a pee, do whatever you need to do, because this one is going to be another fun one. Okay, I'm back. So we've got another whole thing to build.
Back, so we've got
We have the fire themed snowspeeder here. Which, well, when I saw the picture during the reveal for the summer wave for this year, I knew I had to have it. I was a little surprised that they only put up one set for Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2, but here it is. So, let's take Jedi Bob Starfighter off the table so we can focus on the Force Burner Snowspeeder. One more look at Jedi Bob Starfighter. This one's small enough that I can really get a nice close-up on the camera. That's about as good a shot of any ship as you'll ever see on the stream. Probably won't be able to replicate it with anything much bigger. So the Force Burner Snowspeeder is from Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2, and as such, I can't tell you too much about its role in the story because I do not know. Nobody has seen Rebuild the Galaxy 2 yet. Nobody will see it until Friday when it premieres on Disney Plus. And I will not be able to watch until Sunday. So, please, if you see... We're doing the second part of my 3-part stream on Thursday. But if you watch Rebuild the Galaxy on Friday, or you watch it on Saturday with my stream on another screen, please don't spoil me if you see Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2 on either Friday or Saturday before tuning into the Part 3 Dark Falcon stream here. Because I'll be watching on Sunday. You can see from the box there's technically 3 vehicles. There's a little speeder bike that's in the same color scheme as the speeder. And there's also the bad guys riding a STAP, which is the aerial platforms that the Separatist battle droids used. It comes with 3 figures. All 3 of these are characters that are Rebuild the Galaxy specific characters. Some of the other sets we'll be doing will be traditional Star Wars characters in their reconfigured forms, but all 3 of these characters are actually Rebuild the Galaxy characters. Sig Griebling, Darth Dev, and Solitus. We will, as usual, we will talk a little bit about each character when their figures come through the bags. So here's the front of the box. Here's about as close up as I can do. Looks like this set's going to have a lot of stickers to help catch that fire theme. Actually, it kind of makes sense that the Snowspeeder would have a fire theme because of Rebuild the Galaxy, because of the way Rebuild the Galaxy likes to make everything thematically opposite what it is in the real way. I mean, there's bounty hunter Ewoks in the show. Obviously, they're not in the sets, unfortunately. And then the back shows. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that before. So you know how in the Snowspeeder there's 2 seats for crew, 1 pilot and 1 rear-facing gunner. Well, it looks like the speeder bike here drops out of the bottom of the Snowspeeder. Does that mean the gunner position can eject onto the speeder bike? That would be a really cool feature because the real Snowspeeder doesn't do that. But it's definitely something that LEGO Rebuild the Galaxy would do. Again, I haven't seen the show, so I can't say for sure, but... Let's go ahead and punch it open. Now, this set is technically this set is a victim of the LEGO Star Wars 2025 all sets are overpriced curse.
All sets are overpriced.
There's a controversy and almost scandal going on with LEGO Star Wars this year because the majority of the sets have been priced higher than comparable sets usually are. We do have a paper bag. I'm not sure what that's about. So let's just keep getting stuff out of here. Okay, that's everything that's in the box. We do have the sticker sheet with 11 stickers on it. Most of them fire effects. Yeah, this is going to be a cool ship when put together. Now, snow speeders are more of a ground op spacecraft. Snow speeders can't go in space. I do not know what this paper bag is, but I'll set aside until the instructions call for it. Of course, we have our instruction book. Okay, let's open the bag. Before we open the bag, let's pull up our instructions here. And let's get, hold on. Let me test and make sure I turned the audio back on. Let me test and make sure. Yeah, we're all good on the audio, so let's get the instructions up. So it's cool that the co-pilot gets his own little speeder, and Solitus gets a craft of his own. This is going to be fun. And it comes with a separator, which we already have a separator out on the table, so I'll just set this one aside as a spare. So it looks like this set does, in fact, do what most sets do, and it gives you the figures not all at a time. Because we're only going to get the first character from this bag. And here's our extra separator. I'll set that aside because we do not need it. We already have one out. And that tells me that both of the bigger sets are going to have their own separators and I won't need to hold on to a spare. Looks like bag one is, it's almost like the Mario bags in a way, the Mario sets, and that bag one is just one of the smaller characters. And then you get into the build in bag two. Because look at this. This is a very tiny parts pile. Oh, he's very detailed. So this is going to be Darth Dev. Darth Dev is the brother of the main character Sig Griebling, and he's the bad guy in Rebuild the Galaxy Part 1. He's got a scared face and an angry face. Given his angry tendencies, I'm going to go angry face for this guy. He's also got the wild hair and red lightsaber. Because even though he reconciles at the end with his brother, and in part 2 they apparently have to work together, he was still the bad guy, so he still keeps his lightsaber. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? And we will be seeing Darth Dev again in one of the later sets in his Part 1 appearance. But this is Darth Dev in what I'm assuming will be his Part 2 appearance. I can't get the camera to focus any better, but you can kind of see what he's supposed to look like. And the ones for this set we will display from this corner of the table. There's no inset picture, so I just have to assume. You know what? This is going to be his little speeder, I think. And then at the end it'll show us how to attach it into the main build. I'm not sure why the instruction book is this many pages. It's like 140 pages, which is weird for a set that only has, what did the box say? 350 pieces. So the instruction book is unusually thick for a set of this piece count. It might just be that this is one of the sets where they print like the whole ship on each page, and then you're adding like one piece per page. There are some builds like that. All right, let's focus here. Now there's a lot of cool. There's a bunch of cool characters in Darth Dev's evil crew in the first part. We'll be seeing some of those when we do the Dark Falcon on Saturday. Okay. I like the concept of Rebuild the Galaxy. I hope they do some more of these crazy mixed up Star Wars vehicles in the future. So yeah, it looks like this is definitely going to be the speeder. Yeah, so this is the little speeder that's going to go into the bigger speeder. I should probably put the sticker on before I put the piece on because it's a clip and I don't want to accidentally snap the clip. There's the fire detail sticker for that flap piece. I think they call this piece the flap. And I put the sticker oriented incorrectly, apparently. Alright. I need to rotate this around 1/3. Alright, yeah. Now we're good to go on this piece. And now we just gotta figure out the orientation of this piece. Yeah, so we take the other sticker. And let's see if I can get it correctly facing this time. Now that I know what to expect. It's not centered, but it's good enough. It's not going to be seen in relation to the other sticker that much, so yeah. Looks good. Okay. So here's our little speeder. My guess is Dev is going to sit in here, and then he's going to, this speeder's going to connect into the bigger speeder and become the gunner station, is my assumption of how this is going to work out. I'm not 100% sure, but given that this is technically a side build right now, I'll set it aside. Alright. Oh, I missed a piece. That was almost a disaster. Okay, so yeah, standard handlebar piece that most speeders get. My guess is this clip here is how it's going to attach into the main vehicle. One more look at the little speeder, and then let's get started with the big speeder. So bag 2, it's also showing that we need the canopy, which I'm guessing is the piece that's in the paper bag. We will open the paper bag when the instructions call for the canopy. No need to unnecessarily clutter up the table with big pieces. So in bag 2, we're going to get our second character for this set, who is the main character, Sig Griebling. He's the young Jedi wannabe who enters Jedi Bob's ancient Jedi temple, accidentally disturbs the magical crystal, and accidentally causes the galaxy to get rebuilt. And here he is in his Part 2 outfit. We have a slightly sad, worried face or a smiley, confident face. This is Lego that's making him smiley. He is the good guy. And he also gets a lightsaber. And his oh, that's cool. He's got an orange lightsaber. That's a I've never seen this lightsaber character on before on Lego Star Wars figures. The only canon characters to have orange lightsabers so far, as far as I know, are Bale and Skull and Shin Hati from the villains from the Ahsoka series. I might get their set just to get a few more orange lightsabers, but here's Sig Griebling in his Part 2 outfit. I do like that orange lightsaber. So he's Darth Dev's brother, and I guess in Part 2 they have to work together to beat the new villain. I'm making assumptions, of course. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet. Nobody has. Except the people who made it, of course. So, looks like from the inset picture, Bag 2 is going to be the frame for part of the speeder. Okay. Okay. Sorry, when I stop talking, that just means I'm concentrating on the build, and I temporarily ran out of things to talk about. But that's okay, because I'll think of something soon. So yeah, I do have something special planned for Life Day, now that the Dark Falcon's been moved up, but you'll see what that is, I guess, in a couple months when we get to Life Day. I don't want to spoil it just yet, but suffice to say, Lego's putting out a Star Wars Christmas set this year, and it looks awesome. It looks awesome, and it's relatively budget friendly. So it looks like we're building up the main pilot seat here. Okay. Wow, the rain's really picking up outside. But our connection is still solid, so let's keep going. We do have some nice printed consoles going on here. Is that a little bit of a stud shooter trigger? And stud shooter I see here? We're going to get this ship's first weapon right here, I think. In the... Is that... No, that's the slope. There it is. Okay. Here's a look at the inside with all the printed consoles there. And now we're going to get a sticker. This one should be centered, but it doesn't have to line up with anything just yet. Actually, this is a uses the yellow background of the piece, so I don't think this lines up with anything in particular. But I still want to make sure it's centered. The little flame motif bit on the bottom needs to be centered, and it does need to be straight. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I think that's pretty good. So there's the sticker we just put on. And we're doing an assembly now. My Lego world continues to grow, and it's going to pick up. It's going to pick up even more soon. Assembly for the assembly for the assembly, I guess. This is getting out of hand. So yeah, another thing that's coming up on the channel is maybe is if there are Avatar 3 sets for the new Avatar 3, the third part coming out in December, Fire and Ash. If they release sets for that movie, I will be getting the full Avatar collection again. I will be getting the full wave. But so far, there's nothing even been coming out of the rumor um, department. So there may not be Avatar 3 sets. I saw the trailer. There's some two cool new tribes and some new creatures. So it would be sad if they don't put out sets for the movie, but since nothing's been rumored, then I'm not really expecting anything. Still, if they do it, I'll be there for it. So yeah, it looks like this bag is about the frame for the main vehicle, and then the next two bags are going to be fleshing it out. Excuse me a moment. I'm going to mute the mic. My brother's having a very loud phone conversation in the next room because he doesn't know how to keep his voice down. So I will mute the mic for a few minutes till he's done. But I'm going to keep building. Excuse me a moment. He's escalating his voice. I'll be back in a moment. Sorry about that. There was a noise disruption. Okay, so we have here the internal frame of our speeder. It doesn't look like much of anything yet, but the instructions do show this is where we clip in the little speeder like this, and it becomes the gunner station. So let's go ahead and do that, because I think it's, until we build the rest of the ship, that's necessary for stability, I believe. So yeah, the little speeder clips in underneath like this and becomes the base for the gunner seat. Also, the tow cable on the regular Snowspeeder is replaced with this big, huge, giant stud shooter cannon. I've already tested it. It works. It's not going to be loaded again. And actually, because it's rear facing, there's no point in even loading it for display, because nobody's going to be able to see into it anyway. So now with the little speeder creating part of the base of the big speeder, let me just make sure I turn my audio back on. Alright, we're good on the audio. So now is where we add the canopy piece. So I'm assuming that's this little paper bag here. And this is a cool design for a canopy. It's trans yellow outlined in black. Perfect for a fire theme. And this will clip on like this. And then you can put your two guys inside. It looks like this is going to do the same thing that the Starfighter did, where bag 3 is one side of the speeder and bag 4 is the other side of the speeder. That's what I'm assuming. But let's go ahead and we'll put the top down. And here's the central core of the speeder all together. Again, it doesn't really look like much yet. Let's bring out bag 3. And now that bag 3 is out, I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to take this core section and set it to the side here out of the way so we can focus on the build. And when it comes time for the stickers, I'm probably going to wait till the wing is assembled before I attempt to do stickers. And that way I can make sure I line everything up properly. We're at just about the 2-hour mark of stream, so we're on target for good time. Excuse me a moment. I need to stretch. Okay. I'm feeling much better from yesterday. I haven't had any issues with that muscle that I thought I pulled yesterday. It hurt me all night, and I went to sleep, and then I woke up, and I was fine in that regard. Another one of my sores is starting to act up, as in just now, but we're close enough. We're going to finish this out. Is this where that is? I'm hoping I lined that up correctly because the picture's not very clear. But let's keep going, and if that's incorrect, we will fix it. Okay, yeah. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. That's usually what's going on when I stop talking. Yeah, things are going efficiently with this wing. You can see how quickly we're working through this parts pile here. I'm guessing bag 4 is going to be include the other wing plus the bad guy in his vehicle. Alright, these stickers are fin stickers, so they're not going to actually line up to anything. So, well, let's see. They might. I'm just trying to see how the wing looks overall. Yeah, actually, no, it doesn't actually connect to anything. We can proceed with putting these stickers on. Yeah, these 2 stickers aren't too bad. Okay, so this is the stickers we just put on. It's this flame motif on both sides of that big fin piece. There's the other side, right there. Okay, let's keep going. Now this is a sticker that I think I want to wait a bit on. Unless... Is this one gonna line up with anything? Not really. We can go ahead and do this sticker as well. So now we know that for the wing stickers, they don't really line up with a other color blocking. So I can proceed with putting them on as they're called for. There's that sticker right there. That was almost a disaster, but it didn't go on the floor. We caught it. And there's the engine for this side of the speeder. And here's some more of the engine. I forgot how big the Snowspeeder's engines were running along the length of the wing. But this all goes here like this. And now we're going to fill in the rest of the wing detail here in coloration. So yeah, we're almost done with this wing. There's the sticker. Interesting. Interesting use of the corner slope quarter pyramid piece thing. And of course this is a callback to the piece they used to use for the big lasers on the snow speeders back in the original couple versions. Cool callback there. Alright, so let's get this attached. And now this wing attaches. Oh, I see. So I think the clips under here at the base of the speeder, I think those are for holding the character's lightsabers when they're sitting inside. Okay, and the wing snaps into place. Gives it that distinctive shaping. So from this side, it actually looks pretty good. And from this side, it still looks unfinished. Let's set that there, and we will move into the bag 4. And bag 4 will get our third character for this set. So bag 4 is going to start with a character named Solitus. Solitus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's not in Rebuild the Galaxy Part 1. Darth Dev is the bad guy in Rebuild the Galaxy Part 1. But Solitus is the bad guy in Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2. And I read somewhere that before he turned to the dark side, he was the Jedi Master who trained Jedi Bob. So there's some cool story continuity going on there, but I don't know how he is as a villain, because like I said, I haven't seen Part 2 yet. Part 2 is not out till Friday. But we do have a cape for him, just like Jedi Bob got a cape. Is that a Duros head? Looks like he might be a Duros. Let me, He only has the one face. And he has an expression, a serious... he has a serious expression. Let's find his hood, because the picture shows he's got a hood. There it is. Let's give him the hood. He's a villain and he looks the part. But he's not too terrifying looking. He is just a Lego villain after all. They have their moments. Lego Palpatine has always been interesting as a character. So there's Solitus. You can see he has a Duros head and dark robes and a cape. And oh, this is cool. So he dual wields purple lightsabers that appear to be connected by a nunchuk chain. I've not seen that before. And his sabers are purple, like Mace Windu. I have never in Lego Star Wars seen purple lightsabers except for Mace Windu, so that's cool. I don't have any Mace Windu figures yet. He's the only mainline character who uses that color, as far as I know. But yeah, this is a cool weapon he's got. Nunchuk, purple lightsabers. Now, let's give him his arms. Or he has his arms. Let's arm him up. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. It's getting late. We're on our last numbered bag of the night. But yeah, that's cool. There he is with his weapon. That's cool. It looks like we're taking a break from the speeder to build Solitus's weapon, which is the aerial platform typically used by battle droids. That's not correct. This is how it's supposed to go. We're at 2.25 hours, so we're just about where I estimated tonight's stream was gonna be on time. Assuming we can keep pace going with this last bag. Okay. This platform's coming together nicely. They've actually done a couple of these in recent sets. Over the summer, they released a one of their statue style sets of battle droid on one of these platforms, which came with a minifigure scale version as well. And then there was also one of these in the battle pack last year. And I can't remember if the MTT came with one or not. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But it's going together pretty quickly. So if this stream comes in at under 3 hours, then I can probably anticipate about 4 hours for the stream on Thursday. Maybe even 4.5. And then the Saturday stream, I'm going to have to start earlier because, oh wow. Piece count. Saturday could be another big long marathon stream. Saturday's going to fall between 6 and 9 hours, I think. The Dark Falcon has a huge piece count. A piece count that's comparable to a piece count that is the last time I did a set at that piece count, it took me about 6.5 hours. So we're looking at an all-day stream on Saturday. But yeah, these are about as unique as you're going to get. The others, the Thursday stream is a standard X-Wing and TIE Fighter. It's not till the end of the stream where we get to see the Rebuild the Galaxy variants. Because we have to build the whole X-Wing and the whole TIE Fighter in order to get the parts we need to do all the parts we need in order to actually do the mashups. So we're going to have to build the whole thing first before we can do the Rebuild the Galaxy theming for Thursday. Okay, this goes in like this. And so this is our aerial platform that Solitus is going to use. Got some big guns on it. And I'll just set that off screen for a little bit. And now we're going to start with the other wing finally. Normally it does side builds at either the beginning or the end, not in the middle like that. But that's alright. Gave us a nice little break from the main event. I'm one inventory session away from getting caught up on my inventory. So pretty soon I'll be able to pick like 4 or 5 things to go back on display. Unfortunately, families decided to raid my designated display area. And so 6 of my cubes are being used by them to store their stuff, even though I've asked them to move the stuff. But maybe I'll pick a couple things for display soon. I'm hoping that's placed correctly. It's very not clear. Okay, this is going well. There's that one plate on the underside of the wing that I'm not sure it's in the right place, but it doesn't look like it connects to anything, so it's probably not a big deal. Once we finish the wing here, we're pretty much done for tonight at that point. Okay. Yeah, the soreness is setting in again. It's a good thing we're almost done. But I feel good otherwise. Lego nights are best nights. Except when I get to see Shayna, which isn't nearly enough. And we get to go to theater tomorrow, so that's cool. Forgive me if I don't take the time to show the sticker. It's the same one we did on the other side. Or it's the same pair of stickers we did on the other side. So I'm just going to apply it and keep going. Okay, yeah. We're almost there. Oh. It looks like this set uses tiles for the stud shooter. which means I can't make a neat ammo stack. Not really a fan of when they do that. Because it's harder to keep track of the ammo when you don't stack them. So the last 4 ships we've done have all been two bags, each doing a wing. The shuttle, of course, needed that one last bag to tie everything together. But after that, the interceptor was body and then wing, wing. And then Jedi Bob Starfighter was 2 bags for the body and then wing, wing. And same deal here. Sometimes, depending on the wing complexity, sometimes the wings will be like one bag towards the end or something. It varies depending on what kind of wing we're talking about. That's not straight. But hey, once I get this sticker placed, we're done with stickers tonight. Okay, let's get this piece on. And we're almost done. We put the gun on. And then we secure the gun. Okay, there's a piece in my... Maybe not. Oh, that's a lot of spare bits here. And so with that wing on, we have the full look of the speeder. Oh, almost forgot. The empty sticker sheet. You know what we do with those. Now let's take a moment. So it says we have 3 of these ammo, 2 of these ammo bits. Because they're all loose, I'm actually going to keep the 3rd in this case. So I'll set them over here out of the way. I already tested the stud shooter when I added it. And this shows you some of the other sets this wave. So yeah, you can see the Trooper platform on the MTT there. And there's a K2SO statue. We did the Jango Fett fire spray there. the ship formerly known as Slave One. That was a fun build. It's one of my favorites in my Star Wars collection, that's for sure. Of course, I say that about all of them. Here you can see the other battle droid. Um, I forget if the micro figure version, the minifigure one, comes with a plot trooper or not. Here you can see the advertisement for the turbo tank, the Ewok statue, another Clone Wars Starfighter. Um, I'm not familiar with that Clone Wars Starfighter, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get the set. And this set itself, the Force Burner Snowspeeder, included in the ad as well. And that's the end of the instructions there. So, give me a moment. I want to go back and just look at something that was in the instructions real quick. Yeah. Yeah, alright. So yeah, let's see, let's get all the spare bits out of here. Now that we're done building, I can put the brick separator aside. Or we can use it to represent Darth Dev's separator, which is the Star Destroyer analog for Rebuild the Galaxy Part 1. It's called the separator, but there's not a set of that, unfortunately. And these flaps are not symmetrical. Let me try and adjust them so it looks, the back here looks straighter. Okay, I think that's a little better. And when you clip it out, it still doesn't look bad from the top as long as you have the canopy closed. If you open the canopy, you do see that big gaping hole in the middle there. But then when he's done with when he's done with his mission, all he has to do is fly back up and clip in. If I can line it up correctly, of course. Lining it up correctly is a prerequisite for doing that. Swoosh test. This one is great for swooshing. Nice and lightweight, doesn't feel too heavy in the hand. About the same weight as the other. They both feel good in the hand. They can... A lot of ships, just because of stability and stuff and weight distribution, you have to use two hands to do the swoosh test. But these both you can do fairly safely with one hand. So let's see, these are the Jedi Bob figures on this side, and these are the fire speeder figures on this side. And we have our little gun platform. And yeah, let's do a couple of close-ups and then we will rate out. So we just passed the 2.5 hour mark of stream. We made good time tonight, I think. So Jedi Bob Starfighter. And the Force Burner Snowspeeder. I do like the over-the-top fire design that the speeder has. Yeah, this was a fun pair of ships. I look forward to doing the other two Rebuild the Galaxy streams where we're getting into the big sets. Yeah, this was fun. So, have a good night. Well, like first, before I go into the closing talk, let's just see what's going on for a raid. A lot of people on. Are any of them music people? They usually have. Oh, Taryn's on tonight. Okay. Haven't seen Taryn for a while. We're gonna rate Taryn. She's a good show. Let me set up the raid, and then so yeah. We have two more of these Rebuild the Galaxy streams. We're gonna do one set on each of those because those are the big sets. So we're gonna do the X-wing and Tie Fighter mashup on Thursday, and then Saturday will probably have to be an all-day stream. I'm probably gonna start after lunch and go till whenever it's done. Yeah. Saturday I'm gonna start early afternoon because I anticipate that being a big, long, all-day affair. Maybe not as long as the Speed Champions marathon we did a few weeks ago, but that's going to be a big one. And then Sunday, I'm going to watch the show for myself. So again, the figure lineup: Ackbar Trooper, Jedi Bob, Servo the Gonk, Solitus, Sig Griebling, and Darth Dev. All right, this is fun. This was fun. And I do like the unique takes that Rebuild the Galaxy does on familiar things, making them new. So, have a good night. We're going to go raid Terran, so enjoy some nice music. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. Good night.